Welcome to Skytech-Lens. North America is undergoing a seismic economic shift, and Canada is at the center of it. For years, Canada's economy moved in lockstep with the United States, but that era is ending. Facing U.S. trade pressures, Canada is now pushing for true economic independence. 18 major projects in mining, energy, and infrastructure are being fast-tracked. This is a full-scale transformation, not a minor tweak. U.S. tariffs were meant to keep Canada in check, but instead, they've sparked a drive for self-reliance that could disrupt global markets. The old rules are gone, and a new power dynamic is emerging. To understand this shift, let's break down the 7 strategies Canada is using to rewrite its economic future. Washington's tariffs were supposed to pressure Canada into compliance. Instead, they exposed Canada's vulnerability and triggered a strategic awakening. Rather than fold, Canada pivoted, fast-tracking infrastructure, investing in key sectors, and rethinking its entire economic model. Ottawa cleared the way for 18 major projects, signaling a new era of economic sovereignty. Canada began aggressively seeking new trade partners in Europe and Asia, reducing its reliance on the unpredictable U.S. market. The tariffs, meant to control, became the catalyst for Canadian independence. Canada started building its own supply chains, especially for electric vehicles, moving from raw resource exporter to value-added manufacturer. This is a fundamental shift. Canada is no longer content to be a junior partner. The U.S. plan backfired, creating a more resilient, innovative, and competitive Canada. The old dependency is being replaced by strategic autonomy. Canada is now actively shaping its own economic destiny, and the U.S. is left watching a new power rise on its border. Canada's energy once flowed almost exclusively south, but that's changing fast. The cancellation of projects like Keystone XL exposed the risks of U.S. dependency. Canada is now building an east-west energy corridor, ensuring its resources reach domestic and global markets without relying on U.S. infrastructure. The Trans Mountain expansion triples pipeline capacity to the Pacific, giving Canadian oil direct access to Asia. This shift means Canadian producers can seek the best global prices, not just U.S. rates. Canada is also investing in renewable energy and interprovincial transmission lines, creating a resilient, self-sufficient grid. New LNG export terminals on both coasts allow Canada to supply energy directly to Europe and Asia, bypassing U.S. bottlenecks. The U.S. loses leverage as Canada controls its own export routes. This overhaul is about sovereignty, Canada dictating the terms of its energy future and reshaping North America's energy landscape. The world's green transition depends on critical minerals: lithium, nickel, cobalt, and rare earths, most of which come from China. Canada, sitting on vast reserves, is now moving aggressively to become a global supplier. Billions are being invested in exploration, streamlined permitting, and sustainable mining. Canada's goal: build a full mines-to-mobility supply chain, from extraction to EV battery manufacturing. International automakers are pouring money into Canadian battery plants, drawn by secure, ethical supply. By developing its own refining capacity, Canada keeps more value at home and challenges China's dominance. The U.S. needs these minerals for its own EV ambitions, making Canada an indispensable partner, not just a supplier. This mining push is a cornerstone of Canada's new economic strategy, securing wealth, jobs, and global influence for decades. Ports are the gateways of global trade, and Canada is transforming its own into world-class hubs. Billions are being invested to modernize Vancouver, Prince Rupert, and other ports, making them the fastest, greenest entry points to North America. Canadian ports now offer the shortest shipping times from Asia, with direct rail links deep into the continent. Green shipping corridors and shore power infrastructure are attracting global shipping lines eager to decarbonize. By expanding capacity and efficiency, Canada is capturing a larger share of North American trade. This reduces reliance on U.S. ports, giving Canadian businesses more control and reliability. Canada is becoming a primary distribution hub, not just a destination. The logistics map is being redrawn, and Canada's economic leverage is growing. Modern ports are a critical, often overlooked pillar of Canada's economic independence. Canada is rapidly shifting from fossil fuel giant to clean energy leader. Massive hydro, wind, and solar projects are powering a new generation of industries. Billions in public investment and tax credits are accelerating the transition. Clean energy is attracting battery and EV manufacturers, creating a virtuous cycle of green growth. Canada's low-carbon grid is a major competitive advantage over the U.S. The country is also investing in green hydrogen and carbon capture, aiming to export clean fuels worldwide. This strategy future-proofs the economy, reducing exposure to oil market volatility. Canada is positioning itself as a global clean energy superpower, drawing investment and high-tech jobs. Canada's ambitions are matched by a sweeping infrastructure overhaul. Projects like the Gordie Howe International Bridge symbolize a new era, Canadian-led, future-proof, and globally connected. Massive investments in highways, rail, and digital networks are strengthening east-west links and unlocking remote regions. Expanding broadband to rural and indigenous communities ensures no one is left behind in the digital economy. This integrated network supports new ports, mines, and green energy projects, boosting productivity and competitiveness. As Canada builds a modern logistics system, it becomes a more attractive place for global business. Infrastructure is the backbone of Canada's new economic vision, enabling independence and prosperity. For decades, Canada's trade policy focused almost entirely on the US, but recent protectionism exposed the risks of over-reliance. Now, Canada is aggressively diversifying, signing major trade deals with Europe and Asia, and expanding into new markets. Projects like LNG Canada are built to serve Asia. Not just the US trade missions are targeting fast-growing economies worldwide, building long-term relationships. As Canada's global trade grows, US leverage declines. Canada is moving from dependency to strategic engagement, becoming a more equal partner on the world stage. Canada's bold strategy is reshaping North American trade. By investing in infrastructure, green energy, mining, and global trade, Canada is seizing control of its economic destiny. The stakes are high and challenges remain, but the potential payoff is enormous. If successful, Canada could emerge as a major global player, no longer in the US shadow. The world is watching as Canada bets big on its future. Is this a game changer or a gamble too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel Skytech-Lens for more updates.